Hey everyone, and welcome back to sax.co.uk. So you may have seen Michael back on the channel again. It's great to have him here. So the reason he wasn't with us is because he was living in Japan for 3 years. Despite me packing up his saxophone, I shipped it all the way out there, the plonker didn't play it once whilst he was there. He's arrived back to England and he was the first to admit to me that his skills have regressed a little bit, so he wanted me to help him out, just get back on his feet again. So I've set him the challenge of learning one song and he's got to master it by the end of the month. We're going to be documenting his progress with the track, seeing how he gets on, and at the end of the video he's got to perform it to a live audience at a gig here in London. He has no idea what track I've chosen for him. He turns up in 15 minutes or so. Let's go and surprise him with it. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Nervous now.
Do you not like having a camera thrown in your face first thing in the morning?
I can't say I do, no, it's not my favourite.
Okay, so you set me the challenge of giving you a track to learn to help you get on your feet again. Well, I have something for you.
Wow, that's for me, that's so exciting. Oh, what wonderful wrapping paper as well. It's not terrible. It's the best it could possibly be. It's Kenny G.
There it is. The best of Kenny G.
The best of Kenny G. So what of the best of Kenny G am I learning then?
You are going to be learning Songbird.
Ah, classic. Oh, you can't go. So, look at that hair. So Okay, so I've had a day to really digest what Jamie's thrown at me in terms of Kenny G music, and now I'm ready to get going. So the first thing I need to do is get my saxophone checked and looked at in the workshop. Okay, so the saxophone is back, it plays beautifully, it's my angel and I love it. But the next thing I need to pay attention to is the mouthpiece setup. Okay, so when it comes to mouthpieces, I'm very, very lucky that I have got a stock Ramponi mouthpiece, which is only a 5-tip opening. Now that 5-tip opening is going to make my life so easy because I don't have to think about a big open gap where I have to push air through. If your mouthpiece is like a 7-star or an 8, you're going to want to think about maybe getting something a bit narrower, maybe something a bit more simple like this Jody Jazz Hard Rubber, which is a very, very good, very simple, super reliable mouthpiece that lets you focus on playing rather than blowing. So when it comes to reeds, you don't want to start experimenting, you want to go with something that's familiar. Now for me, those are the Dario Select Jazzes. I've played them for years and I love them. And since I've been gone, they've actually made their packaging super eco-friendly. So now there is much less one-use plastic here and they are much better for the environment and all organic, which is really, really cool. What's not cool is how strong a reed I used to play. I used to play 4 softs, which is going to be way too firm right now. I've not been building my embouchure muscles. These are going to be much too tough. Change the reed, change the reed. So, instead, I'm going to switch all the way down to 3 softs, a whole strength down, because it's just going to make my life a lot easier. And like with mouthpieces, I want to focus on playing, not focus on having to fight my mouthpiece and fight my setup. Okay, saxophone sorted. Now let's have a look at the music. The music itself is split into 2 very distinct parts. We've got the main head and the solo. So the main head is where most of my attention is going to be this week, because the solo section is, woo, mama, that's difficult. We ignore that, future Michael's problem. What I want to look at is the main melody, because that's much more approachable. It's the bit that everyone can know and sing off the top of their heads if they know the song. So I'm going to focus there first this week, get the melody down, and let's see how we go. I'll see you in a week.
Hey everyone, it's Jamie here with a quick interruption. Michael's a little nervous about performing live again, so I thought I'd put together a little plan that might cheer him up a little bit. I understand that Kenny is a D'Addario artist, so I thought I'd send an email to my rep and see if I can get him to send a message to Michael wishing him good luck for the gig. I've just sent the email, so I'm just waiting here in anticipation of getting something back.
at the end of this process, not only do I have to know the song, but I have to play it at a gig, which was quite scary at first, but then we decided to book an open mic night, which is perfect. It's great for first-time players or returning players because the atmosphere is really, really inclusive. Everyone there is just lovely and is there to support you. And there's a whole plethora of different levels of playing. So I'm not going to feel like I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb because I'm under-practiced. In fact, when we booked, there was only one rule when you booked, which was just to make sure that you are super supportive of everyone and you're not a complete
Okay, so I've broken out of our studio now to talk to you a bit about my practice routine, because practicing is going to be the most important thing for me in terms of getting ready for this Kenny G gig. So here at sax.co.uk, I'm very, very lucky that we've got these wonderful testing rooms that we use for customers when they want to come in and try different mouthpieces or different saxophones. So I've been sneaking in there where I can during my lunch breaks just to get some practice in, half an hour every day. And in fact, I've got a little bit of time right now whilst it's a little quiet. So I'm going to sneak into a room, get some practice in, and we'll talk more about what I've been doing in there. Okay, so I've finished my practice for the day. I'm feeling pretty happy with how it's gone. So when it comes to my practice routine, before when I was playing much more often, I would focus more on scales and I'd focus more on just making sure I'm going quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, but I've not played in a few years, my fingers are not going to do that. So instead, I'm focusing on something that's much more important, which is your embouchure, all those muscles in your mouth that you need to make sure are there so you stay in tune. So something that's been really helpful for that has been long note practice and doing long note practice with a tuner. So the tuner I've been using one of these, which is a Snark tuner. These are really, really helpful because they're very, very compact and they clip onto the end of your saxophone. So you can just have it always there for reference when you're doing your long notes as you're walking around, instead of having it somewhere in the room. Very, very useful. And it helps you stay in tune, which on a soprano is really important. It can sound really not great if you're out of tune on a soprano. So that's been good. When it comes to the music itself, I've been starting to look at some of the more tricky parts of the main melody. There are some bars that are a bit crunchier than the others, but I'm getting there. It's just about slow and steady progress. So because of that, I've decided to have a look at Kenny's setup because I want to try and emulate more of what he does. So to do that, let's go over to the mouthpiece cabinet and see what I can find there. Let's go. Okay, so when it comes to Kenny G's setup, the first thing I looked at was his saxophone, and obviously he plays a Mark 6, and because I don't have £1 gajillion, I'm not going to replace my saxophone with Mark 6. But what I can do is have a look at my mouthpiece. So he plays a vintage Dukoff 8. Dukoff 8 are metal mouthpieces with big baffles that are really, really poking, really, really powerful. My mouthpiece is a hard rubber mouthpiece that is very, very dark and very, very mellow, very opposite ends of the spectrum. So I absolutely need to upgrade and get myself something with a bit more kick. So I had a little look, and at first I was drawn towards sort of more of the hard rubber stuff, like the Shiva here, which is a lovely sort of hard rubber mouthpiece, very, very pokey, because this feels very, very familiar to me. But I was thinking to myself, if you're going to do this, you have to do it right. So I decided to go with a metal mouthpiece, and I decided to go with the most aggressive thing I could find, which was the Jody Jazz Super Jet. Look at this thing. It is just this silver monster with this giant baffle in the middle there. And it's just good for me so much more attack. That's the thing. It gives so much more and attack and bite, and it's just got energy. So I'm feeling really, really good right now. I'm getting the head down, I'm getting there, slow but steady, practicing. Let's see how we're doing next week.
Okay, so I've got about 2 weeks left to go. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. I think I've got most of the melody under my fingers now. Just focusing more on the phrasing. Because when it comes to Kenny's tone, I'm never going to get that sort of very beautiful, very pristine nasaliness. But his phrasing is something I can emulate. So Kenny has a tendency of ghosting away the end of a phrase. So instead of playing and then playing the whole note through, he'll go like a and just let it drop off in a sort of very sexy, sort of very 90s smooth jazz kind of way. So I'm trying to emulate that. I tried to emulate the side playing mouthing, the whole stuff, but in fairness, you get projection, but I can't keep it in tune to save my life, so I'm just going to play it straight. Do you know what? This is going really, really well, and I'm shocked about how well I'm getting on with this so far. 2 weeks to go, super confident. Right, so a quick cut in here, because me and Jamie, who was recording this video and doing a wonderful job of it, we were just having a listen to the practice I was just doing. And even though I've got this bright mouthpiece on, I'm still not getting anywhere near Kenny's sound. And we decided to watch a live video of Kenny G playing. And to start with, icons, fashion icons, every single one of them. Mullet game, mwah, perfect. The second thing that Jamie noticed was where Kenny G was miking his soprano. Now, normally you'd mic near the body to get all of the sort of resonance of the soprano, but he's got his microphone right in the bell. Wow. So we decided to do another recording of the practice I'm doing with the microphone in the bell to see if that makes a difference. And, well, listen for yourselves, because it's crazy. So this week has been really, really hard. There are two reasons for that. One is I've hit a massive wall in my playing. That's just come from a lack of general practice. I've been not playing for 3 years. So I got the melody down, but the moment I got to the solo, it's just my fingers just won't catch up with it at all. I mean, there's obviously the difficulty of reading the solo that's been transcribed like that. I mean, Kenny G solos are very intricate, but beyond that, it's just even trying to pick it up, which is slow, then trying to get it to the speed. It's just my fingers just won't do it. And it's incredibly annoying and it's really, really frustrating. I'm really upset with myself because it's kind of like a skill that I've just let depreciate and go away. And I don't regret going and doing the things I did. I've lived a very privileged and lovely life for the last 3 years, and I love every minute of it. But there is a part of me that's really let down by not keeping hold of this thing that's so important to me. So that's been really hard this week. And the other thing is that the performance anxiety of actually playing in front of people has started to very much creep in now. I'm starting to wake up at night nervous. It was something I worked on for years at university and got over, and now it's started to come back. So there are going to be many of you out there that might think playing on stage is the most terrifying thing on the planet. And you know, I completely sympathise with you. There are things you can do to make it better. I've called a friend immediately. He's going to play piano for me rather than playing with a backing track. I'm very, very lucky that I've got him. He's a wonderful, wonderful person, and he's going to play with me, and it's going to just, well, a problem shared is a problem halved. The other thing you can do is seek out groups that play. Go and join quartets, go and join big bands, find people to play alongside, and just remember that to gig, you do not need to be virtuosic or perfect. You just need to go out there and enjoy yourself. And if you're enjoying yourself, everyone else will enjoy yourself. But it's easier said than done. So, yeah, this week has been, it's not been great.
A few weeks has passed since I wrote to Daddario, and to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get anything back. But a couple of hours ago, I got an email from my rep Lucy to say that Kenny has got something together. Michael hasn't turned up for work yet, so I'm going to get him into a room, show him the video, and see how he reacts.
Oh, Michael, you caught me practicing. Hey, man, we got to all practice. So, listen, I hear that you are going to be playing one of my songs. I also heard you've been in Japan for the last 3 years. I'm jealous of that, but welcome back. And I think you might be a little nervous about it, but you're going to do great. I know you are, okay? I'm going to give you the first verse, and you take it from there. So just play it something like this. And you got it from there, Michael. All my best wishes. Good luck to you.
So that video was like really is, yeah. Well, I feel massively encouraged now. So Kenny, thank you, you absolute legend. Over the last few days, I've been kind of like picking myself back up after just sort of really struggling, and I seem to have sort of started to crest over that sort of real hump. That's come down to lots of different things. The support of, my wife, Jamie, and Matthew, and everyone here at Sax.co have been lovely, and understanding that this has been difficult, and also just practicing is really, really important. Long note practice is a godsend, because it's just, once you know you're in tune, you can just sort of let your fingers go, and long note practice is so good for just getting those muscles built up in your embouchure. So yeah, I've made peace with the fact that I'm not going to be perfect. No one ever is, and no one should try to be, because it's an impossible standard to set ourselves. Do you know what? 2 days into the gig, I'm feeling pumped up. Let's do this thing. Okay, so it is gig day. We're about 3 hours away from the performance time, and I'm starting to get a little excited. That kind of nervous, excited energy, you know, when you get butterflies, and I'm starting to get really jittery and all kinds of frenetic. I used to gig a lot more, so I could get like this under control. But because this is the first time in a very long time that I felt this way, I kind of don't know where to put my energy. The good news is though, I have my costume, I'm ready to go. I've channeled Kenny G. Okay, it's time to head to the venue. It's time to get going. It's time to get prepared and play. Oh God, it's happening, isn't it? Oh no. Let's do it, come on! These last few weeks have had their ups and downs, but now is the moment. Now is the moment to face my fears of a live audience. I've done everything I can to get prepared. All that's left is to play. Come on, Michael!
absolutely loved it. I am so proud of Michael. I mean, for me, it was as if Kenny G was in the room. The sound, it was absolutely perfect. This lovely, vibrant, bright sound. You had the reverb down, you had the look. I was just so proud of the man. It couldn't have been better for me. Absolutely loved it.
I can't believe it. Michael was amazing. I was really, I was so pleased for him because like he was really worried about it, and you know, he played soprano in tune, which is more than I can do. So yeah, hats off to him. Really good performance. Really pleased for him.
So I've come off stage. I feel amazing. I also feel absolutely exhausted. Yeah, it was like the high of performing is so like rah, and it's like unbelievable. God, I've missed this so much. I'm really chuffed. The work really paid off in the end. All of that like practice is good. It's shocking, but practice really works. And coming to an open mic night, everyone is so supportive and they cheer and they just like get involved, and it's just super amazing. Go out, go find your open mic nights, go and support, go and show support, go and be supported. It's amazing. I'm gonna go to bed.